breakfast today. We're doing mini pancakes, eggs, berries. Do you want to try a berry? So we are officially at 6 months postpartum. We have a 6-month-old girl. So slowly getting into my postpartum fitness journey. I feel like I've been like slowly making little changes, trying to just be active, go on walks, go to Pilates. I feel like I've had so much going on for the last couple months since moving, and I kind of needed to just like get through this last couple weeks, going on my bachelorette trip, being in Utah, just like traveling and being gone. So now that I am back home, I'm excited to just get back into a routine and have like less on my calendar, less stuff coming up, all of that. We're just having chill time, huh? So I've been on top of my vitamin game. I have them literally in this thing because otherwise I forget to take them. So we have our vitamins. I also try to start my day with a big cup of water, usually ice water. I also have this Armor colostrum that I've been taking. So shout out to Armor for sponsoring today's video. So this is a bioactive whole food that supports your immune system. And this is unflavored, which I actually like because I just put it in my water, or I'll put it in my smoothie sometimes too. I do 4 servings a day, so it's just 4 little scoops. And I feel like colostrum has been interesting to learn about because I hadn't really even heard of it or like knew what it was until I had a baby. But there are so many benefits, and especially with it being like fall time now, I already feel like I'm getting, not even like getting a little bit sick, but just like a little bit sniffly. The girls are sniffly. So we need all the immune support that we can get. And if you have a strong barrier, then you have a stronger immune system. And your barriers regenerate every 2 weeks. So consistency with this is very important, but it's super easy to just add 4 scoops to like any drink. Again, sometimes I'll put it in my smoothie if I don't want it in my water, or sometimes I'll add like a greens powder to my water too. But I do also have a code. How does the camera die at the most important part of the sponsorship where I'm giving the code? The code is Aspyn15 for 15% off for first-time customers on tryarmra.com, TRYARMRA.com. I'll have that linked for you guys. We made breakfast now. I just noticed that our strawberries have mold on them. You should try a pancake. You want to try a pancake today? That would be cute. Let's try one. Guys, this baby is literally so nice. He's so nice to you, Mom. I love you so much. Oh no, there's shells. Okay, breakfast is ready, girls. Mama's night out. Mom's night out. And Auntie's night out. That's our baby's night out. All right, guys, today's video is going to be a Q&A. We're gonna see if I'm up for answering some questions that I feel like I usually avoid. Obviously, not all of them are things that I avoid. Now that I've shared a little bit more of a life update, obviously there's a lot of questions. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. First question, not too juicy, but what made you move? Obviously, I just moved to California. This has really been a long time coming. I just was not happy in Utah. There's just been so much that has like happened in that house. Obviously, I still have that house and I do plan to sell it at some point, but I just really needed a change. And even just like the lifestyle here is so much more laid back and chill, and I feel like there's so much more to do, especially with kids. I love like not having to get my kids in the car for every single outing. Like we can walk so many places. There's been so much change that's happened in my life over the last few years. I really just needed a fresh start. I don't have as many friends here. I don't have as much family here. I mean, I'm not on my own because I do still have friends, and like obviously my sister's up in LA, but it just feels so good to like be somewhere fresh, be in a new space. So I'm so happy. I went on a bachelorette trip last week, so I went to Utah. Literally the second that I touched down in California, like I was just immediately felt so much better. Also yapping way too much for literally just being like one question because I screenshotted so many. I just like knew in that moment, like I didn't have any doubts before, but I knew in that moment that I had made the right choice, because when I was back in Utah, it just was very hard for me to be there. Would you ever do your own podcast or one with Avery? Me and my sister Avery have talked about doing a podcast forever. We have like 0 actual plans to make it happen, but I feel like now that my mental health is like slightly better, maybe it would be sometime in the near future. Everyone always says that a podcast is like way more work than you think it's gonna be, and that kind of is what scares me because I have a lot going on, and so I feel like a podcast would be fun. I just would want to make sure that I could like actually commit to like doing that. If I said I was gonna do that, I wouldn't do my own. I would do one with my sister. I feel like this, like obviously YouTube is not a podcast, but I feel like I talk to myself enough. Like I have really been enjoying doing podcasts. I just did another one with Josie from The Weekly Trash, and it's so fun to just sit and like be able to have a conversation with someone, because in most of my stuff that I post, I'm literally just like talking to myself. Which birth was the hardest? Lola's was definitely the hardest because she was facing upwards. She was sunny side up, not breech, but just like usually when babies come out, they're like looking down at the floor. She was not looking down at the floor like she was supposed to be. So it was really, really hard to get her out. I feel like my first birth was the easiest, and then I feel like my third birth was second easiest. That one was like not bad, but I just remember feeling like the first one was easier. I don't know. Okay, what did you think of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? I posted a TikTok about this. I'm obsessed. I think they did such a good job. It was such a good show. I feel like it was such a good representation of, I don't know if I would say Utah Valley Mormons. It's kind of like if you know, you know. Like if you're not from Utah, or you're not even from like the Salt Lake area, or if you just don't know a lot about the Mormon church or the Mormon culture, maybe it wouldn't be like quite as interesting to you, but I feel like it's interesting to a lot of people because everybody's talking about it. So I absolutely loved it, and I thought that they literally did such a good job. I'm sure they will do season 2. I just really hope that season 2 is not like a year away. The next question kind of goes along with that. I feel like I don't really answer this one. I've said I'm not Mormon, but I feel like I haven't talked about like the lore of my experience with the Mormon church. So the question says, were you ever Mormon even as a child? Did you grow up Mormon? If so, what made you leave? I've been to the Mormon church so many different times. I don't consider myself to have ever been Mormon or even grown up Mormon, but I definitely had periods of my life where I would go to that church, not because I wanted to. It was more so like my mom kind of figuring out what she believed in and like what she wanted to be a part of. I know we went when I was like really little. I don't know how much, but like a little kid, like 2. And then I know I went when I was in like 4th grade for a little bit. And at that point, you're old enough to just like want to fit in with all of your friends and like do what your friends are doing. And obviously a lot of the kids in my class at school were also in my class at church. So I definitely went. Like I'm very familiar with the Mormon church. I'm familiar with like what the experience of going to a Mormon church is like. And my mom actually had a calling, which is kind of just like a job in the church. So she was like the activity days leader. I don't know what the ages are. I think maybe like 10 to 14 or something. I'm sure somebody will like correct me in the comments, but like once a week, I think you just get together and like do activities. Even though I have done that and my mom like literally had a calling in the church, I still don't consider myself to have grown up Mormon. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't care about like what I was learning about. Like I had no idea what was going on. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. So that was like how deep it was to me. Was I ever Mormon? No, I don't feel like I was. What is a question you wish people would stop asking? Obviously I understand the curiosity of people wanting to know like a full update on like what's going on in my life. Obviously I just shared that I am divorced, but I haven't shared like tons of details, whatever. I'm trying to like not like talk about it too much, but obviously people just ask me about it all the time. Like it's one of the top questions, but I wish people would stop asking about like why I got divorced and also what's going on with my kids. Like how often do you have your kids? What does the custody split look like? Like stuff like that. I'm not going to share. So again, I fully understand why people are asking me that, but it's just, I'm not going to share those details. So if I could choose anything for people to stop asking, it would be that. It's too personal and people don't need to know like where my children are. How have you been mentally stepping into this new phase of life while also having a new baby? To be honest, having a new baby like is not, how do I like phrase this? There's just so much going on that like the weight of what somebody would normally feel when they have a new baby, and obviously that's a huge adjustment to your life. Like not only to have a new baby come home, but also just the postpartum period, like as a mother, your body healing and things being different with your body and all of the hormones and all of that stuff. But when you take that situation compared to like other situations that I'm going through, it really just feels like it doesn't compare, to be honest. Like there's so much else that I have been going through that adding a new baby has kind of just been like, it just feels like such a small piece of like what I'm navigating, especially because it's my 3rd baby. I think I would feel different obviously if it was like my 1st baby and I was really trying to figure out what I'm doing. Being so comfortable with having a baby, I don't feel like it's been a super hard adjustment. Obviously in the beginning it's always a little bit hard to kind of just like navigate. I don't know, and I'm very lucky that my sweet little baby number 3 is just like a happy, easygoing baby. I think it'd be a lot harder if her temperament was not like that. Now that everything is settled a little bit, like that doesn't really feel like another hard thing that I'm going through, if that makes sense. So mentally, I feel like in terms of having a baby, I've really enjoyed having a baby again, even though my life is very different from what it was when I had my first 2 babies. Like I look at my baby and I'm just so grateful for her, and like she's just the sunshine of my whole day. Tell us about house shopping and other houses you looked at but didn't choose. So I had looked at houses for a really long time. Like I would literally get on Zillow every single day and just see what came up, and there were so many houses that I was like, maybe this one could work, maybe this one could work, but I knew that I would just have the feeling that when the perfect house popped up, like I would know that it was right. So I feel like I wasn't super stressed about a house because I just knew that I would have the feeling that like this is it, this is meant to be, and whatever works out is like meant to be how it works out. So I had seen this house, it was up for sale for a little bit. I don't know, it just like was not clicking that this was like the right one, and then once I really looked into it and saw it in person, I knew that it was the right one. I'm so lucky and happy that it all worked out because I definitely feel like it's where I'm meant to be at this point. It must be exciting and terrifying to date again. What do you think your type is now as an adult? I am literally not even thinking about dating in my brain. Like that is so far away from the phase of my life that I'm in right now. So I genuinely feel like I wouldn't even know what my type is. Like that's just so far away. Like I couldn't even like process what I would want my type to be. Like obviously I have certain attributes or whatever that I would think are like more attractive than others, but that is not something that I literally plan to do. Like honestly, if ever. I'm sure everybody who like gets divorced says that. Like I remember my mom saying that, and then she's obviously married again now, so I don't know. But oh my gosh, I was like, what is that noise? It's Luma. When did you come in here? Next question kind of goes along with that. It says, would you ever go public with your next relationship or prefer to keep it private? I think that I would definitely keep it private. I think that there's so much value, like I've said, in sharing like what you learn from different relationships and things that you go through in your life. But when something is so public, I just think it's really hard to share those things like respectfully to the other person. So I would not want to share, like if I had a new relationship and then like dated someone for a while and then broke up, and I wanted to like share with you guys just more about that experience. Like I said in my other video, I wish I felt more comfortable to share about the experience that I like had being married for almost 9 years. But again, everyone just knows like exactly who I'm talking about, and especially when I have kids with that person, like I'm not going to be going online saying mean things or something. So next time though, if you didn't know who I was talking about and I had mean things to say, maybe I would say them. Yeah, I think I'll keep that private. I would maybe say like I'm dating someone, but I wouldn't be like posting photos of them probably, or like vlogging with them or something. I feel like that would just be weird. Like everything is, that's like feels like it's so far away that I can't even think about how I would feel if that was actually happening. How are we feeling emotionally with this new change of divorce? I feel like maybe I seem like I'm doing okay, but I am not at all. It is truly the most devastating thing. I'm just not the type that's gonna come on and like crying about it, or like turning on the camera when I'm feeling sad about it, or like in my feels. I think that it's great to be vulnerable with things like that, but it's just not how I am. Things I post on social media are usually definitely a highlight reel, like the good things that are going on in my life. Yeah, I don't know, especially when I haven't shared a lot of details. If I seem like I'm doing good, I'm really not, but I'm doing a little bit better because I moved to California. That just kind of softens the blow of like how heavy life is. Like some days you can feel great and feel so good about it, and then other days you are just hysterical because you like cannot even believe. Are you doing, oh, this one is kind of the same. It says, are you doing okay emotionally / mentally outside of caring for your girls? I feel like I kind of just answered that, but no. What are some red flags we should look for in men? Genuine question. Something that I think not enough people talk about. It's like starting to be talked about more, but I don't feel like enough people talk about it still, even to this day. But just the mental load of life, even motherhood. Like if you're just starting to like date someone or like looking for someone, you're not really to that phase yet. I think that so much of the mental load just falls on the woman a lot of the time, and obviously sometimes it makes more sense if like the mom is a stay-at-home mom and that's kind of tied into her job as a stay-at-home mom. I think just someone who shows you that they can really carry their fair share of the mental load, and it's always so situational depending on like the roles and who's, you know, doing what. But especially if you like we're gonna move in with someone and then they just assume that you're gonna be doing like the laundry or the cooking or the grocery shopping or things like that, or even just like keeping on top of cleaning. I feel like that is just such a difficult thing that you don't really realize not until it's like too late, but a lot of the time it happens after you have kids. At that point you're so deep into it, so it just becomes a very difficult situation, and I think that people should pay more attention to that earlier on. I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like even something as simple as like taking you on dates, but literally the bar is like so low. The bar is so low for men. I don't know. I would love if you guys would put things in the comments, because obviously I only have like one experience of dating one person and I married that person. So I feel like I don't even have enough experience to like give a good answer to that. So if you guys have any red flags, please leave them in the comments so that we can all help each other out. Next question. I'm also done with my makeup, and so now I just like keep putting stuff on again when I don't even need to. But would there be any situation in which you would post your kid skin? Definitely no. I can't really think of a situation that I would post them again, especially like their faces and stuff. I say it all the time, but I feel like I'm still navigating like literally every day, every post. If there's anything involving my kids, it's me still navigating and trying to figure out like what do I feel comfortable with. Going back to like how I used to post them, where they were just like in my content, you could see their faces, I talked about them, shared more like updates about them. I don't see myself ever going back to that. I feel like it's been a long and kind of hard transition to get my content back to mostly just being me. Like I've always felt like I was like the main pillar of it and kind of like running everything and doing it all. But then obviously like Parker was in the vlogs, or my girls will be in the vlogs or whatever, or sometimes I'll have like friends in the vlogs. I hate to say it was hard to like stop showing my kids, but it was. And so obviously that means I was showing them like way too much, but kind of just getting everything back to feeling like it's more so just like my life and about me, I feel like has been a little bit difficult. So yeah, I don't really see a situation where I show my kids again. Like that just, I don't feel like that would really make sense for me. Okay, can you share more about your teeth? Thinking of getting mine fixed too. So got my teeth adjusted again. I think I mentioned that in the last vlog. I did composite bonding on my top 10 teeth. Now that I have had a couple months to kind of like think about it, adjust to them, whatever. I didn't have bad teeth before by any means, but I kind of wanted to just like even them out a little bit. That's what I thought composite bonding was. I think I just didn't quite do enough research on like how intense this was, because it's less intense than veneers where they like grind your teeth down and put a fake tooth on. So I was thinking this was a little bit more of like a simplistic process. Now I've gone back like multiple times to have them like made smaller and thinned out. There are certain people that could maybe benefit more from having this type of work done to their teeth. I don't really feel like I was one of those people who like needed it. Not that anybody like needs that, but obviously some people like it could be really beneficial for them. I think that there are other things I could have done that were like way less invasive and intense and less expensive that would have kind of made me feel like got a little improvement in my teeth without having to like go so far. I do think they're looking better since I have thinned them out, have them made smaller. Like we literally made them smaller in like every way. I like to kind of have them settle a little bit before I like make a final judgment on them. So I might go back again, like have them even smaller. Yeah, but the dentist is super nice. So he's been nice to let me go back like multiple times and be like, please make these smaller. Why are you comfortable doing podcasts now? So I've done 3 podcasts. I have another one that I'm doing soon. I've always been like asked to do podcasts, like not all the time or anything, but I've definitely been asked before. And I think the difference is that now my mental health is like a little bit better. But also when I'm going on my friend's podcast, I'm a lot more comfortable. I've been trying to go on Pretty Basic for like literally 2 years. The timing just like never worked for us all to be like in the same place. That one has been like a work in progress, and obviously I'm friends with them, and so I'm like comfortable going on. I've been on the What We Said podcast, and then after I went on Pretty Basic, my friend Tyson was like, oh wait, you should come on my podcast too. So obviously I'm friends with him, I'm comfortable doing that. And then I just did Weekly Trash, and I hadn't met the host of that, but I've listened to that podcast for years, and so I felt like we were friends kind of, even though like I hadn't met her and like didn't know her. But mostly I just wanted to like hang out with her, and she had asked me to be on her podcast. Like when I went to message her about something, I saw she had like messaged me. And then the other podcast that I'm going on, it's like a newer friend of mine, but it's also someone that I feel comfortable to like sit and chat with. So I feel like if it was a friend who like asked me, then I would go on. But if it's been like other people that I don't know, I'm like not quite as comfortable, just because I'm not very outgoing. I'm like very shy around people that I don't know. So I feel like it's the fact that it's my friends for the most part like asking me to go on. And also again, my mental health is just like a little bit better now, and so it like sounds fun to go on instead of like scary. But yeah, this is already 30 minutes long. Maybe I should stop the questions here. Okay, let me know if you guys want to do like part 2 of a Q&A. I tried to again do questions that I maybe normally like don't answer quite as much. Obviously I'm not spilling the tea, whatever like everybody wants me to do, but I've already said I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, don't know what to tell you. I think I'll end the video here because of the fact that it is so dang long already. So thank you again to Armra for sponsoring this video. Don't forget I'll have the link for them down below if you guys want to check them out. Code Aspyn15 for 15% off for new customers. I'm excited because I have a lot of like home decor stuff that is supposed to be coming this week. So I feel like within the next, maybe the next vlog, I'll have like a fun home update for you guys with like more of my like new furniture and stuff that's come. So I'm excited for that. But anyways, hope you guys watched, or yeah, I was gonna say hope you guys like this. Hope you guys watch this. If you're still watching at this moment, comment one food that you ate today. But this is literally just so long, so who knows if anybody is still here. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.